Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Ranke here on the LJ Ranke Travel Channel. I'm standing in my little private forest here in the middle of a farmland on the highway between Animus and Wing, North Dakota. I just love coming here. It's not mine, but I kind of like to consider this to be my private little forest. Kind of a little getaway. Today I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to begin a 3-part video series. Yesterday was my wife's birthday, April 20th. Last year, Easter landed on April 20th. This year, Easter landed on April 5th. Next year, Easter will land on March 28th. What's the deal with that, people? Why on earth does Easter move the way it does? When we celebrate Jesus' birth, it's always December 25th. We all know Christmas Day is December 25th. Why is the celebration of his resurrection from the dead, why does it move from one time to another? I don't get it. Well, here's the reason why. It has to do with when the church gathered in the city of Nicaea in the year 325. The church was gathering, and Nicaea is a city south of present-day Istanbul, Turkey. At the time, it was called Constantinople. It was the home of the emperor. He called all the bishops and elders around the church, the entire empire, to come together in Nicaea to address a very important question. There was a movement in the church called Arianism, which taught that Jesus was less than God. So the church had to address this issue. Now, that's going to be the topic in video number 2. Now, I'm going to share what the church said there, and in the hopes of comforting you. It's going to be very theological, but I'm also going to step on some toes. So be advised, video number 2 will comfort, but it's going to step on some toes. Video number 3 is going to explain why the birthday of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson changed from the time that they were born to the time that they died. No joke. And it all has to do with the dating of Easter. That's actually the truth, people. That's actually the truth. The dating of Easter played a really important part in history. Okay, let me go back to the Council of Nicaea. They were there to talk about Arius and his error, but the question, the church has been practicing Easter at different times. They said, let's come up with a uniform way of setting the date of Easter, and this is what they came up with, and I love this. The date of Easter was set as the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the spring equinox. So you go to the spring equinox, which is when it's equal day, equal night, which is usually March 21st, 22nd. Then you go to the first full moon after that. Now the first full moon could be the very next day. It could be 28 days later. And when you get to the first full moon, then you got to wait for the Sunday after that. Well, if the first full moon's on a Saturday, the next Sunday, the next day is going to be Easter. But if the first full moon's on a Monday, you got to wait till the following Sunday to celebrate Easter. So Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the spring equinox. I love that because it uses both the solar calendar, the equinox, the spring equinox, and the lunar calendar, the 28-day cycle of the moon around the earth, in order to establish the date of Easter. And that's why the date of Easter changes. I just love that. Now, again, the next video is going to be about the topic. It's going to be very theological. Hopefully it'll comfort you, but it will offend some people, what I have to say in that video. And then third, I'm going to talk about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and why their birthdays changed. And it has to do with the dating of Easter. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the good news from my private little forest here in the middle of central North Dakota. Thank you, take care, goodbye, and God bless.